In Kiryat Shmona, children ran for shelters that had no room for them. In Metula, a Hezbollah drone landed on the roof of a home. In southern Lebanon, another Israeli soldier came home in a coffin. Inside the war cabinet, the arguments are no longer whispered. This ceasefire is a sentence with no period. The ceasefire with Hezbollah is holding in name only. On the ground, Israeli soldiers keep dying. On May 25th, Hezbollah launched multiple explosive drones towards Israeli troops in southern Lebanon and into northern Israel. One struck the roof of a home in Metula, a border town. No casualties were reported there, but sirens had already sent students in Kiryat Shmona scrambling to school shelters during the morning, some finding there was not enough room inside. Those who could not fit were left in the corridor. A day earlier, Sergeant Nehoray Leizer from Eyal was killed by an explosive drone strike in southern Lebanon. Another soldier was seriously wounded in the same attack. He was the 10th IDF soldier killed in Lebanon since the ceasefire was announced. The deaths have forced an open confrontation inside Israel's security cabinet. On the night of May 24th, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich clashed for hours over how to respond to the drone threat. Netanyahu pressed the IDF to find technical and defensive solutions quickly. But Smotrich argued that Israel cannot rely only on defense systems and must instead impose a far heavier cost on Hezbollah.
We cannot defend ourselves to death. We need to bring down 10 buildings in Tyre in response to every drone.
Netanyahu pushed back, pointing out the logic fell apart when applied to drones from Gaza, the West Bank, or even criminal networks inside Israel. Smotrich held his ground, saying wars are won through deterrence, not defensive nets stretched across the sky. IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir, who visited the Northern Command on May 24th, told ministers that precision alone was no longer enough and that strikes on buildings in Beirut and Tyre would be needed to shift Hezbollah's calculations.
Our mission is clear: to thwart every enemy, destroy terrorist infrastructure, and serve as the forward defensive line for the communities of the north. You cannot work with tweezers. A different equation has to be created, one that also includes strikes on buildings in Beirut and Tyre in order to deter.
Zamir also said the military was prepared to return to high-intensity fighting, and that plans for continuing the northern campaign had been approved. No decision on escalation was announced after the meeting. The drones, however, kept coming. The Israeli military has announced the death of another soldier in southern Lebanon, as Hezbollah's expanding drone campaign continues to inflict casualties along the northern front. 19-year-old Sergeant Nehoray Leizer from the southern Israeli city of Eyal was killed during combat operations in southern Lebanon. The IDF confirmed early on May 25th. According to initial military assessments, Leizer was killed by an explosive drone launched by Hezbollah. He served in the 601st Combat Engineering Battalion of the 401st Armoured Brigade, one of the units most heavily targeted in recent drone attacks. Earlier, Hezbollah leader Naim Qassem openly praised the group's growing use of first-person view drones, claiming the attacks had left Israeli forces dizzy. Qassem's confidence is not without basis. The numbers from recent weeks tell a story. The 401st Armoured Brigade has been hit repeatedly. The brigade's own commander, Colonel Meir Biederman, was severely wounded by an explosive drone on May 20th. On May 23rd, Staff Sergeant Noam Hamburger was killed by a drone near the Lebanese border. During a televised speech marking what Hezbollah calls Resistance and Liberation Day, Qasem rejected growing international pressure for the group to disarm and insisted Hezbollah would continue confronting Israel.
There is no such thing as the exclusivity of weapons or disarming Hezbollah. Disarmament is extermination, and this is something we cannot accept.
As Hezbollah's drone attacks intensify, Israeli soldiers operating in southern Lebanon are reportedly improvising new defensive measures against low-flying explosive drones. The response to the drone threat has been improvised, stretched, and, by some accounts, embarrassing. Israeli public broadcaster Khan reported that soldiers in southern Lebanon contacted fishermen on the Sea of Galilee over the past week to buy or receive donated fishing nets as protection against the attacks. The effort was not organized by the IDF or the Defense Ministry. It came from soldiers in the field. Yonatan Shalev, a politician who recently survived a drone strike on a building where he was staying in Lebanon, confirmed the report and did not soften his assessment.
As someone who almost died a few days ago from an explosive drone strike on the building where we were staying in Lebanon, I am ashamed to read such a report and am forced to admit that it is true.
Israeli soldiers have reportedly experimented with shade nets, football nets, and fishing nets in an attempt to counter Hezbollah's FPV drone threat, while the military develops a more standardized defense system. The IDF says it is working to create a uniform standard of drone defense. An organized order for nets has been placed for vehicles, buildings, and protected positions. In the meantime, a 19-year-old from Eyal is being buried today, and Hezbollah's drones are still buzzing the IDF.